And there we go. All right. Hey there, everybody. How y'all doing? Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. And I'm going to do around 30. I used to do these a lot. I haven't done in a while, so I love doing these. Where you get to know, you get to know, up and coming, not up and coming, but reviewers, collectors, anybody that just wants to come on and everything. And I met this guy at TFCon, Baltimore, and he does have a cat. That's awesome. And got to talk to him for a little bit and everything. And I know he was on with Patriot Prime, Jason, and everything. But Captain Kyle, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate that.
I'm doing fine. I have one of my 5 cats with me. This is Sky. She often shows up in my videos. Honor may show up at some point, but they don't get along, so Sky has to leave before Honor can show up.
Oh, man.
Honor's the newest one, and she's still getting adjusted. It's getting better.
Okay.
But the Patriot Prime one, I had actually not even started my channel when we did the live stream. It was like very shortly before I started posting videos, because I have another channel that I had started putting Transformer reviews on. I'm like, no, this shouldn't be on this channel. I need to create a brand new channel. And that's when I decided to create Toy Spotlite. And Jason, Patriot Prime, was kind enough to host me on his channel. And I actually got a few subscribers from that before I even posted a video. So,
oh, nice, very nice. Yeah. Well, that actually, that was my first question: is how long have you been doing reviews? So evidently, it's been about 2 years. So not very long.
No. It's been 5 years plus, if you count the ones that I did on my other channel. So,
well, okay. Well, I mean, how long have you been doing Transform? Now, what did you do on your other channel? Well, before you did
my other channel, and by the way, Prince and Phalanx says that they're not Logan, and I can't tell them to shut. I could tell you to shut up. I'm not going to. I'll be nice, but
Prince is a good dude.
But if it becomes necessary, I will tell you to shut up. I will tell anyone to shut up. So my other channel, which I've had for a little more than 10 years, is more focused. It started more focused on cosplay, and then we started doing celebrity interviews, and it has evolved over the years into pretty much convention coverage, Comic Cons, horror cons, sci-fi cons, and I will do, again, the celebrity interviews. Mm-hmm. I will record panels at these cons. In fact, I'm likely to be recording at BotCon. I recorded at TFCon. I just haven't had a chance to put them out because I'm like backlogged. But yeah, I put out a lot of panels. I also have someone who does a weekly live stream podcast where they talk about sequels that we need from like older movies. Like I think their last one was the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, and having a sequel to that, like nowadays, or even what it could have been if they had done a sequel way back then. Maybe, before Patrick Swayze passed, maybe they could have sent, him back from heaven to basically warn Demi Moore about some horrible thing that was going to happen that's earth-shattering. Who knows? But, they pitch different ideas. It's a fun little podcast. And I may actually do a review on my other channel, which is called Phantom Spotlight, of the 15th Doctor Sonic, which I just got, because I'm also a Doctor Who fan. I don't just love I love Transformers. Don't get me wrong. But I love Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Stargate. I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show far too many times. I branch out to a lot of things. My cat Sky is named after Sky on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though later she changed her name to Daisy, which is not nearly as nice. I have a cat, Dex, who is named after Dex from Daredevil, the Netflix series, who's apparently coming back in Born Again. And I have one that's named Newt. We had her mother, who is named Ripley. we placed Ripley with another person who renamed her Jude because he's a big Beatles fan. But Newt is obviously from Aliens. We have Leo, who was named that when I got him. So I would have probably named him Lion-O or Streaky because he's a orange tabby. And then we have Honor, the latest one, who is named after Honor Harrington from the David Weber series of books. So I have far-ranging interests, but Transformers is definitely near and dear to my heart.
That's awesome. You answered another one of my questions, but I'll ask that later. We'll answer that later and everything. So that is awesome. So, okay. So the next question is, so like your style of reviews, you sit in front of the camera, and you talk about the, the figure and everything. So how did you choose that style? Is that what you started off with, or is that's what you are comfortable with doing?
I find it a little different, but I had my secondary camera on the side of the table pointing down. And then I decided, after discussion with my color correctionist, someone who helps me a lot with Phantom Spotlight, I decided to move it kind of right there. I'm actually pointing at that camera.
Like an angle? Okay.
Yeah, it's at an angle. I have a main camera here, and then I have that one for close-up shots. And I just thought it was a little bit different. People seem to like it. I mean, you can get in trouble because you're holding the figure pointing there, and you sometimes don't notice if something's out of place. Yeah. But, that's part of the fun, and people can make comments, and I'll be like, well, whoopsie, that's... But I just find most channels, and there's nothing wrong with the way they're doing it, is they, someone like Patriot Prime will do an intro facing the camera, but then he'll switch over to a camera, pointing like from his chest area, and he'll do everything out here. Yeah. And I just kind of like... Yeah, and a lot of people do it. There's nothing wrong with that, and it actually keeps you out of trouble. But I like doing it this way, and that way it just makes it a lot easier. On occasion, I've set up my phone on a little tripod. On a few times when I'm trying to, decided to show how to transform the figure. I usually don't, because especially with some of these more complex figures, I'm fumbling through, and I don't want to have people see me. I haven't it's usually I've just taken it out of the box, so I haven't taken it out and taken the time to, figure it out so that I can be smooth like MGO, So I just fumble through it. That part gets cut out of the video, and then I show it in the other form. But once in a while, I will show how to transform something if it's simple enough. I recently did it with that YC002 Scorponok, whose the transformation is not complex, but
no, not at all. Not at all.
There are things that you need to be aware of, especially with the head and having to take off the eyes. It's kind of weird, but But that was a nice thing to actually show. This is how you transform it into the different modes. But usually I don't, because I don't want to look too much like an idiot. Sometimes awesome. I look like an idiot anyway, and people will point out, you forgot this, and
they love. There's people out there that love to correct people. I am Eric, man. Thank you so much for the $5, man. I appreciate that, man. So much. Thank you. But yeah, I do. I mean, I used to. I changed it up. I used to set up long, years ago, 5, maybe 6 years. I would sit in front of the camera too, but I just got. I don't know. I wanted to do something different. But I thought about going back and doing that and everything. But I do the transformations. I try to do the transformation, but like you say, it takes time sometimes, especially for MP, figures and stuff. It takes a while to do those transformations.
Yeah, that Romulus could take a little bit of a while. I see that Rod Super. I'm wearing the Cybertronic Spree shirt.
Megatron.
And I did the panel with nice. Cybertronic Spree. I actually don't know that I did their panel, but they're usually at RetroCon, which is in Oaks, Pennsylvania, every September. Yeah. They're usually there. Mm-hmm. They do a concert. I've talked to the band members. I did get to do Stan Bush's panel, which was fun. And we even talked about Boogie Nights and, Mark Wahlberg's rendition of You've Got the Touch, so.
Yeah.
But
which he did a great job. He did a great job. not really, but
yeah. I mean, he was doing it as he was supposed to, because I know he knows how to sing, and and he was doing it a little off key, but that's all good. No, I've actually moderated a lot of panels, some not Transformers related, some Transformers related. I've moderated panels for Ian Cortlett, Cheetor, Venus Terzo, Black Arachnia, Dan Gilvezan, Bumblebee, Michael Bell, Prowl. Nice. I've moderated quite a few, and if there's any Red Dead Redemption fans out there, I'll be moderating the panel March 15th at CT GamerCon for Roger Clark and the other main. What is his name? Why? Anyway, the 4 Red Dead Redemption people. Roger Clark always like, "Hey man, good to see you again." He recognizes me, and he's Irish,
nice.
so
Very nice.
So that's how he talks.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're going to BotCon. So I went to BotCon last year. I've actually been to a lot of BotCons and everything, but I'm actually heading to TFCon LA too in 2 weeks. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, so congrats! I'm thinking about. More than likely, I'll be doing TFCon Chicago later this year.
I'm gonna try to go to that one too as well. Yep, and October this year. So I think it's October this year. End of October, early November, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. BotCon. I went to BotCon. My first one was in the year 2000, so 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went consistently every year until 2011. So that is actually 12 of them. But I was getting sick because Fun Publications had taken over by that point.
Yep.
And they were just getting too money grubbing. 2007, the first live action movie.
Yep.
We got to pay. We were in Rhode Island. We got to pay $25 to all go to a theater and see it a bit early.
Mm-hmm.
And the money was going to charity. 2011 rolls around. I think that's when Revenge of the Fallen came out. Was that?
Revenge of the Fallen was 9.
Okay.
09. I thought 08 was my first one.
Was Devastator in that one?
Yes. Devastator was in Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, that was 09.
Okay.
So 08 was the first one I went to, was in Cincinnati, and 9 was Pasadena.
So in Pasadena,
Revenge of the Fallen came out.
Thank you, Extra Zero, for reminding me. Yeah. Extra Zero says Dark of the Moon was 2000.
That was Sentinel Prime and everything, all that stuff.
But yeah, in Pasadena, we got to pay $40 to go to a theater.
Watch two. We watched two. I think it was 2 scenes or something.
We watched 16 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
And we got to tell Michael Bay what a great guy he was.
And I think he was inducted to the Hall of Fame too that year too.
Yeah, that was the year he was inducted into the Transformers Hall of Fame.
I remember it. I was there too.
And I was there too. I am just I'm not sure what year they gave out the 3D masks, but I was only supposed to have one. I took both. I took Optimus and Bumblebee. But
that was 9. That was 09 because my wife actually went to that one with me in 09, and they gave us. She had the Bumblebee one. I had the Prime one.
So you ended up with both, yeah. So I actually just stole an extra mask, and it's like I figured I paid $40. I can get 2 of these goddamn masks, but it was it was very annoying. And then I think it was in 2012 they started with the Primus Gold package, where you could pay twice as much, and you got preferred seating. And I'm like, this is just getting ridiculous. I'm not going anymore. And then shortly after
was
that,
Dallas, I think it was Dallas.
Yeah, I didn't go to that. I went to a Dallas one earlier. They had it in Dallas before. I know I had gone to a Dallas one, but 2012, I decided no more. And then I think shortly thereafter, I did The Purge, which was a dark time. But I sold because I used to have every single G1, every single G2, a bunch of Japanese and European G1s and G2s. Mm-hmm. I had all Beast Wars 2, Beast Wars the second, sorry. Beast Wars Neo. I had all of Rid and Beast Machine. I had everything. I was a completionist. And then I sold off a lot of my G1s and G2s, and it was it got me out of debt. I had credit card debt before that. Got me out of debt, put money in the bank, got work done on my house. It was great. But
I went to see '08 was my first. I went through '08, '09, 10, which was in Florida, then 11 back to Pasadena. Then I went to 12 because I'm in Arkansas, so I drove down to the Dallas one, and then that's the last one I went to until Hanny Agabus got the license for it now and everything. So I started going back. I've been to the last 3. One was in Nashville, New Jersey, and then Fort Wayne, Indiana last year, and then Indiana this year as well. And also
yeah, I was at the New Jersey one. I stopped by. I was just there for one day. And it's not like the BotCons used to be, as you probably noticed.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But it was still it was still a decent con. I got to see some friends there. I recorded the panels, and I think I published those. I got to see Venus Sturza was there, so I said hi to her. She kind of vaguely remembered me. And I think Rodimus Primal was a little taken aback because this guy wanted a picture of me and him together.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's awesome. Primal. Yeah, I was there with the Primal and everything. I was there with my wife and everything. That was a weird one. The hotel was right across the main highway. There was like a big, highway and everything. So we had to take my whole bank statement was Uber, because we had to take Ubers back and forth and everything. So it was kind of a weird one.
Yeah, and it was in a mall. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was one of the big malls and everything. It was weird. Thank you, Fire Talks. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Okay, so who is your favorite character, and why is he or she your favorite character in Transformer?
My favorite Transformer, and this has been discussed a lot on my channel, and a lot of people who watch my channel know, is Trax. I love Trax. He sounds like a young Thurston Howell, and he's a Corvette, and he flies. Yes, a flying car, but it's not Droll. I'm sorry. It's not Droll. Trax is my favorite toy, my favorite character from G1. I mean, there's a lot. It's like choosing your favorite child. I don't know if you have children. Do you have children?
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Nope. I have cats. Picking a favorite cat would be difficult. So I mean, I enjoy a lot of Transformers. There's a lot of really cool ones. Of course, I love Starscream. I can't quite do his voice, but I am Commander Starscream of the Decepticon Empire. So I try. Yeah. My Megatron is much better, but I learned how to do that from Welker himself. So there's a lot of great characters. Trax is my number one, but I love Starscream. I love Soundwave, of course. Who doesn't love Soundwave? He's got an armada. And Stories from
Starscream is my favorite character. That's a good dude, man. That's a good dude. Yeah. Since Deluxe only has Gator, he gets to be his favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite. Actually, ask you a question. It says in turn. Let me bring this up. I think I ask you a question.
I do review a lot of lines from G1, modern ones, KOs, things in between. I love doing the evolution ones where I can actually go like, this is the very first one. It can't pose worth a shit, but it's a G1, and then following all the way up, to the latest versions. Of course, Trax is one of my favorites. I've always loved Beachcomber because Beachcomber was the very first Transformer I purchased. I did not jump on the bandwagon immediately. I started watching the show, and I think it was probably in reruns at that point because I didn't catch it on Sundays. I think that's when it first premiered or whatever. So I caught it later on, and I'm like, I really like these. I really, really like these. So I went, and I think my first one was a Beachcomber. And then, so he's always a favorite. I am enjoying like the YC001, the Metroplex. I like him. If he was half a foot taller, I would say he would be better than the Titan. The Hasbro Titan one, which I was looking for years, and I finally got at a reasonable price. And I actually got a second one at a reasonable price, so I'm going to end up selling one of them. But the second one had a scamper, so I didn't have a scamper.
Nice, very nice, awesome. So, well, speaking of, like they say, what's one of your favorite childhoods you remember about Transformers? Like you just said, Beachcomber was the one you first bought. Do you like having special, memories of like a childhood, favorites or from Transformers, when you were watching it or anything like that?
Well, I love the show, and I remember. After I did not see the movie in theaters. I didn't even know there was a movie. So here I am watching Transformers blissfully. And then suddenly there's this new guy, Rodimus Prime. What the hell is this? Who's this Ultra Magnus? What's a handy Decepticon detector? It was. Yeah. So I had to go back and get the movie and watch it, which I ended up with so many copies of it. I had the clamshell Canadian one with the swearing. Yeah. Yep. I had many versions, and I still have, of course, many versions. But yeah, I didn't have a Megatron for a long time until I got him through the mail away. So Starscream was my leader of the Decepticons, for a very long time. As he should be. Yes. He deserves his chance. Power flows to the one who knows. But I do also remember heroes never die. I, Optimus Prime, can never be conquered. Watch the return of Optimus Prime, February 23rd and 24th on the Transformers. So when Peter returned as Optimus, that was great. So
it was. Yeah, I remember I actually got to go watch the movie when it's there because it was only in theaters for like 3 months. I remember August of '86. I went and watched it, and I think it was out of theaters by October. So it wasn't a very long run for the movie at all.
Yeah, but think about what you're saying, because nowadays for a movie to be in the theaters for 3 months would be incredible. Because now it's like, if it's in theaters for 3 weeks and then they're rushing to get it out on streaming and, and DVD and Blu-ray for those who actually do those. But I wasn't even aware it was in theaters. And the thing was, in 1984, I was 13. So by 1986, I was 15, which you're not supposed to be into toys at that point. I mean, I've always been the geek and I didn't care. But, I've always kind of gone my own way and got picked on for it. So I'm still plotting my revenge. No, I'm not. I will just take over the world, Pinky. I will just take over the world. But so 1980s, I wasn't aware that it was even in theaters for 3 months, or I would have been like, I want to see that. And my parents would have been like, what are you talking about, Willis? So that is an old reference. I don't know how old you were in 1986.
Different strokes. I was 9. I was born in
9.
No, actually 10. No, 86. I would have been 10. So when the movie came out, I was 9 because it's August. My birthday is September, so I was almost 10 years old when that came out.
So you're a young fella, huh?
I ain't young, man. Hey, Warren, I do remember the Bozo Show, man. I used to watch the Bozo Show, and I wanted to always be on the bucket toss. I was so jealous of the kids always get to throw little ping pong things at the bucket. So I do remember the Bozo Show.
I see someone liked Ultra Magnus because Robert Stack. Welcome to Unsolved Mysteries. That's why I did I have one video, and I meant to do more, and I probably still will do more. But I did what happened to Skyfire? This is Ultra Magnus, and welcome to Transformers Unsolved Mysteries. That was that was a fun video to do. And I did not get copyright claimed, despite the fact that it was pretty much made up of entirely Hasbro owned, Q1 Transformer footage.
Yeah, I got you. Awesome. So next question is, why Transformers? why do you like what brings you to like Transformers so much? What is it about Transformers?
Um, well, I like Transformers more than GoBots because a GoBot once sexually harassed me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, GoBots were just kind of cheesy. I love the story. I've always loved robots because I'm a big sci-fi dude, and Isaac Asimov was one of my go-to authors. So he's had a lot of books about robots. And I did like Star Wars, and I had Star Wars action figures. But the thing is, you get the action figures, you need to get a vehicle. And then Transformers came along. You have the action figure, and it changes into the vehicle. You don't need to buy anything else. So I thought that was cool, and I just liked. I think the storyline hooked me. Sentient robots from another planet fighting a war. And they had some really good stories. They had some that were iffy, but most of the stories were really good. And then eventually I found the Transformers comic, which for the most part was good, but they had some stories that were a little iffy. But
yeah, they were kind of weird.
But I did like the fact in the comic that when you're reading the tech spec and Blaster has an electro scrambler rifle, or this guy has a glue gun, or this guy has a glass gas gun, that's what they had in the comic. They didn't have the generic blasters that you saw in the cartoon. They had, I mean, Trax still had his black beam gun, but it was like Starscream's null ray, which he broke out at certain times, but not when he's just shooting. It's just like blaster bolts. So, but I've always liked sci-fi. I've liked robots, and it came together for me in Transformers. It was just a really interesting concept, and I was 13 years old and still into sci-fi, and I was like, this is really cool. I don't care if it's a cartoon. Yeah. I still watch cartoons now, so,
Oh, yeah. I do too.
Some of them have sex and drugs and stuff, but,
Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever floats your boat, man. Awesome. Well, I think you've already answered this other question. Like, what other lines do you collect? You say you're a big Doctor Who fan as well, and Star Trek and things. So, do you collect? Do you just like the fiction behind it, or do you actually? What other lines do you collect as far as toy wise, or actually?
Well, I try to not collect much more than Transformers. I sometimes have to because I'm compelled. Like when they came out with the pops for V, I loved V. I had to get the V pops. I have all the Doctor Who sonic screwdrivers and the 6th Doctor sonic lance, which is a custom job, but it's, it looks very good. I have all that stuff because I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and I also have a bunch of cosplays. I have Captain America shields, some I've made, some I've bought. So I have a few other action figures. I knew someone who worked at a Hot Topic, and she gave me a bunch of pops that were just like a little damaged, and they couldn't sell them. So she's like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Nice."
That's awesome.
So I have a scattering of other action figures. The majority is definitely Transformers, but if I try to, I really liked I think it was a 2002 Masters of the Universe line. Okay. If I had decided to collect those, and if I decided to collect everything that I enjoyed, I would not be living in my house. It would be packed wall to wall with toys. Me and the cats would be in the car. I don't want that. So, yeah, I have friends. My friends Tony and Rose. They run RetroCon, and they're great fans. You can tell when you go to a con who's the money grubbers, who just are in it for the money, and who are actually fans, who obviously they need to make money. It's a business, but you can tell by the con itself how, there's love in there too. And Tony and Rose love Transformers. They love stuff. And they have G.I. Joe, Silverhawks, Mask. From the 80s, they have like everything, Thundercats, and through them I've met, and other cons, I met Larry Kenny a bunch of times. Thundercats, ho! There's so much cool stuff out there. But like I have a Lion-O action figure signed by Larry Kenney. It's not the Lion-O he played. It's actually from the series that he played the father, but he's like, and I said, and he's like, oh, what you got there? And I'm like, oh, it's a Lion-O action figure. He's like, bring it here. I'll sign it. He's like, but I don't have any. I didn't say you had to pay. Just so he signed it because I've moderated him at panels, interviewed him. He's a great guy.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
I think I could be the villain in Austin Powers.
Oh,
that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Oh, Extra Zero asked another question. As someone who's in pop culture, do you wish we got more Transformer crossovers and any ones you want to see? Okay. So are you in on the crossover stuff? You know,
are you talking the toys? Or are you talking about the comics? Because there's been a lot of. I think there was a Star
toys.
Trek.
I think toys. What he's talking about.
I mean, I'd love to see.
They did Marvel and stuff as well.
Yeah, they've done Marvel initially in the miniseries, and at least through like a little bit after Circuit Breaker, Transformers was set in the Marvel universe, but then they separated it out because they didn't want to run into problems. It was only supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries, and then it ended up. Yeah. They decided to go with number 5, and that's why I love number 80 because it's number 80 in a 4-issue limited series. But Extra Zero says toys specifically. I would love to see an A-Team van that that transformed. That'd be really cool. I would love to see an actual Battlestar Galactica Viper.
Oh,
that transformed.
I'd definitely be interested in that.
I mean, the Siege ones the Siege Seekers look a lot like Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, they could definitely retool those. Yeah.
Yeah, retooling it and making it into an actual Viper would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I have a friend who wants to see the car from Smokey and the Bandit transform. And have a cowboy
yeah. That would be cool. I didn't think about that.
I don't think they'd ever do like the Battlestar Galactica itself transform because that'd be like a Titans class, and I don't think they're going to do that for a crossover. But I would love to see. I know they've done them in the. I wish they'd redo them. I'd love to see a new, more modern engineered X-wing transform.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
I know they did do the Star Wars Transformers crossovers before.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there was anything in like Starship Troopers that had, but the vehicles weren't all that great.
Maybe the big ships. Maybe, but like I said, that once again, that would probably be a Titan class one. That's a big one.
Yeah, I don't know any other. I mean, I love the fact they did Kit, Michael. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Someone tried to steal me again.
DeLorean was a good one from Back to the Future.
DeLorean was good. I actually have the Top Gun one, and I have not taken it out of the box. I plan on reviewing it, and I just haven't gotten to it. And maybe I'll do it. I'm thinking about doing some live streams where I review things I haven't had a chance to review.
Okay,
that may be one of them. So
that's probably the worst one, in my opinion. It looks good display, like in Jet, but once you transform it and start messing around with it. Yeah, it falls really short. It's not a good figure, in my opinion. You may like it, and that's fine, but it was probably one of the worst crossover ones they've done and everything. So, stories from the toy shelf asking, have you done voice work professionally before, or are you looking into getting into voice work professionally?
I would like to get into more voice work. I do corporate voice work. I do voiceover for instructional videos. But it's more like, welcome to this video on Microsoft Word. In this video, we'll be exploring page numbering and section breaks. It's stuff like that, not exactly the fun stuff. I have talked to a lot of voice actors, and a lot of them have encouraged me, and I just haven't put together a voice reel yet. And the problem is I have 2 YouTube channels that I'm working on, plus a full-time job, because YouTube does not pay the bills, as you know.
Nope. Not at all.
not at this level. Eventually, hopefully. But I just have not had the time to sit down and really put together voice reels and send them out to agents, or and see if anyone wants to represent me, and and see if I can do interviews. And I'm in Jersey, which I'm not really going to be able to go into studios. A lot of time it's just self-taping when they want you on a show, but unless they want me to use my home studio, which I think is pretty good, but it's not. I don't have like the sound blocking stuff. I would have to really set that up in order to do it.
Gotcha.
But I do like I did a bunch of overdubbing of G1 stuff where I was like, I would have waited an eternity for this. Are you ready to talk about your car's extended warranty? I would just do spoofs on, famous scenes. It's like, and sometimes the voice were good and sometimes they weren't. But one that didn't get a lot of attention I loved was, I've summoned you here for a purpose. A porpoise? I don't like porpoises. Or dolphins, for that matter. No, I said I have summoned you here for a purpose. I heard you the first time. I don't know what aquatic mammals have to do with me. Let me rephrase. I have summoned you here for a raisin. A raisin? I don't like raisins. I consume energon, you twit. So I'm surprised that didn't get a lot more views, but that's a lot of fun.
I'm surprised all the time about my stuff not getting views, but anyways. All right. So next question. What's your favorite class of Transformers? Like, do you like Legends? You like the Chuck stuff, which is mainline, Masterpiece? Which one do you prefer? I mean, do you collect all of them, or which one, do you
I try to collect just about all of them. There are gems that are core class, Legend, the small ones. Whatever they decide to call them this week. I mean, I have Titan class all the way down to the very small one. So I don't think I enjoy, the leader class and the Voyager class and the deluxe class. I'd say I lean towards those, but I still get the core class. Yes, I always have Transformers around.
No, I do too.
And I don't think they were calling him in the days of this guy,
Yeah.
This is a genuine G1, not reissue Soundwave. So
looks good. Looks really good for being his age and everything.
Yeah, he doesn't actually flop forward that much, just a hair.
Just a smidge. That's fine. Awesome.
I used to have a store, and so people would come in with Transformers to sell or trade. And sometimes I would get collections, and I would look at the Transformers in them, and I'd be like, that one's better than mine. So that one was like in a box, in an actual, Soundwave box, original.
With the styrofoam and everything?
Styrofoam and everything.
Nice.
And it was so tight. I was like, yeah, I'm swapping out. I'm keeping this one for me. The box ended up going to the gentleman who worked for me, who was very into getting boxes. And he had done me a lot of favors. So I gave it to him at a very low price. But, it was worth it to see him happy. He was a great Transformers fan. He could identify things. I mean, I could look at most accessories and be like, oh, that's Dive Bomb's gun. He knew, like, oh, that's like the train bot. I don't even know their names. He'd name the train bot and know what gun that was. He was that good. But unfortunately, he passed away, taken from us way too soon. So, Mike, wherever you are up there, I hope you're playing with Transformers. And probably complaining about some of the new ones.
And everybody. Prince has a question. Who is this Logan that you always refer to?
So, as my channel progressed over the 5 years that I've had it, and I won't actually do some voices while I'm saying this. So I'm John Rhys Davies, and I will tell this tale. No, Logan was just someone who was commenting, and he would kind of, whenever I'd make a slightly risque reference, he would definitely comment on it. And so eventually, and I would respond, and we're having a great time in the comments. And so one day I said something in a video, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to get a comment from Logan. So I just was like, Logan, shut up. And then I just started that just became a thing on my channel. Some people want me to make a shirt that says "Shut Up, Logan," and I'm like, who's gonna buy it? 3 people? Come on, Logan, his wife, and and maybe the one guy who said you should make that shirt. But that'd be like a really deep cut. Maybe when I reach 1 million subscribers, we'll have "Shut Up, Logan" shirts.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Okay, so I asked this question quite a few times with other people and everything. So, would you want other characters in the line, like And I'll talk to this about. I actually talked with with Extra Zero and everything. Like, let's say G1 is in in the past. Still they know about it. Still the the lure is still there, but we have new characters, like a whole new set of new characters. No Starscream, no Prime, no Megatron. Would you be on board with them expanding to more characters? And then like I said, still know about G1 stuff and everything. But would you be invested in? I mean, would you like that to happen?
I mean, isn't that what Beast Wars was? I mean, we had Optimus Primal, who was named after Optimus Prime. We had a Megatron who was, yes, I am Megatron, but I'm not that Megatron. No. That's what Beast Wars was. I wouldn't be averse to that. There are actually like these stories in my head that I'd love to do if I had the capability. Because I would love to do like a multiversal mystery where a group of Autobots has to figure out someone's going and stealing like from different realities major Transformers relics, like the Allspark, like the Underbase, like the Matrix, like keys to Vector Sigma, just getting all these relics and disappearing with them. And I would love for it to be Thunderclash and Rotorstorm and the other Turbo Masters like leading the hunt for and trying to figure out what's going on. And
that'd be cool.
It would just be a really cool thing. And you would run into familiar characters, but it would be a whole nother thing. And I have this storyline in my head, and if I had the capability, I would do it, and it would look exactly like G1, where basically Optimus and a bunch of the Autobots are coming back to the Ark after going to a distress call where the Decepticons were attacking, but by the time they got there, the Decepticons were long gone. So they're like, that was very strange, and they're heading back, and Megatron is hiding with the Constructicons, and he's like, activate the field. And they basically go through this field and end up in an alternate universe. So when they get back to the Ark, it's blue. And there's a whole bunch of other Autobots there. This guy, Centurion Prime, is in charge. And there's a big fight because they're like all these invading, robots. Yeah. We don't know who they are. It's not Teletran 1, it's Auntie, which is the Autobot Unified Network Technology Interface encoder or something like that. But that was actually the original name of Teletran 1. So I love to do throwbacks to that. Okay. And a lot of the characters would not be the same. In fact, you would have like Clampdown and Deep Cover, and you'd have Tiger Track, you'd have Ricochet, you wouldn't have any of the regular Autobot crew, but you'd have all the like the repaints, all the, and they would be like talking to Centurion Prime once they figured out they were all Autobots. And figuring out they're from another universe, and so Optimus would be like, "So you are the carrier of the Matrix?" And it's like, and Centurion Prime is like, "The Matrix has been lost for eons. Why? Do you have it?" And Prowl jumps in and says, "We were just wondering. Ours has been lost for eons too." He doesn't want to let them know because they don't know quite who these Autobots are. A little caution. So, Optimus lets that slide. And they like ask about Ricochet and Stepper are two different people in the mirror universe, in the Shattered Glass universe, by the way. I saw that Stepper comment. So they do a search of Auntie's records, and she's like, there's no record of an Optimus Prime. And it's like, is there a record of an Orion Pax? Yes, he died in an attack very early in the war at an energy facility. So basically, the aerial bots never went back to save him. So that would be like the Virgins point. And since Alpha Trion didn't save him, he didn't give him the Matrix, and different things happened.
Yeah.
But these Autobots, they're not hostile to humans, but they're not allies, and they don't really care. Their mission is to stop the Decepticons, and if an human's in the way, they don't give a shit. And so, yeah, it would just be this really cool storyline where eventually Centurion Prime would figure out that Optimus has the Matrix, and he will demand it, or he will start blasting these bunch of humans that he captured. And so Optimus gives it to him, and when all that wisdom flows into Centurion, he's like, I've been such a fool. You know, freedom is the right of all that stuff, and it totally changes him, and he becomes a better Autobot leader.
Okay. Well, that's awesome, man.
Hauler would definitely be in this version, by the way, Phil.
All the recolors,
and Sunstorm, and some of the welcoming committee and the Rainmakers would actually be on Earth instead of
that'd be awesome, man. I would definitely. I was subscribed to that. I would definitely be interested in all that stuff and everything. That's cool.
I mean, I could write it. I couldn't animate it. I wish I could animate it and just make it look,
Yeah.
If I could use AI to that extent, but I don't know AI, and people would probably get mad for using AI. But I would love to put that storyline together and just have it like with the original style of animation, original voices,
Oh, that'd be very cool. Yeah.
Of course, Road Rage. It's Spin Out.
Spin Out.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
All those. Because you need to fill up the Autobot ranks. They'd also tell Centurion Prime, who would change his name to Guardian Prime after they were parting ways.
Changed over.
That you might want to go up to near the North Pole, around these coordinates, dig a little bit, you might find an ally.
Yeah.
Skyfire.
So next question is, so what do you think of the Lyle Kaiser, and are you backing it? Are you supporting it?
I have not backed it yet.
Okay.
I have not backed it yet. I am going to back it. I love it.
Okay.
I don't have the original Lyle Kaiser. I do have the Autobot Rescue Squad, or the Rescue Force, which is the European recolors of 4 of the Lyle Kaiser team. Except the tank has claws instead. So they have the jet, they have the race car, they have the tank but with claws instead of guns, and then they have the drill tank. And they were not named. At the same time in Europe, they released the Constructicons with no names on the cards. And there were slight differences, like they'd have gray canopies and stuff like that. But I love the Lyle Kaiser, aesthetic. And I named those guys, by the way. The jet is Free Fall. The car is Pit Stop. The tank with the claws now used to be called Clampdown, but then they came out with the Clampdown, so now I call them Extractor. And the drill tank is called Geyser. So I come up with my own Transformers names all the time. But yeah, I have the Combiner Wars. Right. I have the Combiner Wars Leo Kaiser, which is not, it's got a Desaurus, or I think that's what they called him. Instead of Deathsaurus, they put him as a remold recolor of Skylynx, and he is the main bot. And they changed names. Iron Bison instead of Kill Bison, because you can't kill, even though Hasbro killed off Optimus Prime. Still a little,
I didn't get the Combiner War. Only ones I have the Legends Iron Factory. It's awesome. I didn't get the TFC one. They did a Masterpiece one. I didn't get that one either. But I'm hoping somebody comes along and makes another one NP scale as far as third party. So. Yeah,
I've looked into getting the third party ones, but they've gone so much up in price that I'm still a little nervous. I buy third party stuff, but if it's like really expensive, I'm like, what if it shows up and it's broken and I have to fight? It's not like going to Walmart. You buy something at Walmart, you can return it or buy something from Amazon, you can return it.
Yeah.
Recourse is a little more difficult. I got one of those small size, the mini Superion third-party ones.
Yeah, the from I know who you're talking about. Golly, are you talking about the Legend scale, or which one are you talking about?
It was a smaller scale. It actually, when it's merged together, is much closer to the original size, not the bigger one.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of the company. I have them too. I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of the company.
Yeah, so I bought the set, and I got it, and I'm going through, and actually it started a review, and then one of them was missing his head, and I'm like,
I think it's Zeta. I think it's Zeta. I think it's
Zeta Toys. Yeah,
Zeta
but it's the mini version.
Yeah, I got it.
And one of them was missing his head, and I'm like, I can't. And the Fireflight was a little fucked up too. So I was like,
the arm bars were terrible. The arm bots and the Silverbolt was not that good as far as separate. When they combined, they were fine, but they were not as good as I was hoping for. So.
Yeah. So I complained about the missing head, and Ali said, "Look, we'll give you half your money back, and you can keep it." And I said, "That's fine, because I can just merge them together, and he looks good on the shelf." So it got resolved, but later I actually found the one missing his head in a single pack in that scale, so I bought that. Okay. But I still need to find a Fireflight.
Okay. Nice, very nice.
I might be getting one of those Uranus ones.
Uranus, Uranus.
Yeah,
Uranus.
I don't want to call him Uranus because that sounds like I'm way into Uranus, and this is not right.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, I might get one of those.
Awesome.
But go on. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, so yeah, I mean, with third party, if you're buying, especially overseas, TFC Hades, Hades is the one. If you're buying from like Show Z, TF Safari,
mainly AliExpress.
AliExpress, it does take a minute, because you have to, if you have to send it back, which most of the times they usually don't ask for them back. They usually send it, but sometimes they'll ask for it. If you send it back, then you have to wait for it to get there, and then you have to wait for it to come back to you and everything. So, it is what it is.
Luckily I haven't had a lot of problems with them, and there's this one guy who sells on AliExpress, and he's got his own website, who has been sending me some free stuff, which is always great. And I actually had Temu contacted me, and they said, pick out $200 worth of merchandise, and it's yours.
Right.
You can review it. And they did that twice, and they actually paid me a little bit of money. So those are rare, but you know how it is. You get a $25 toy, you review it, you put it up, it makes $10. That is not a sustainable thing.
That's a big if. That's a big if it makes $10 for me and everything. So
yeah, I'm just saying, if it makes $10, it makes $5. I've had things make $3 that I paid $50 for. Yeah. But if you can get a toy for free, whatever you make off that video is gravy.
And I don't get anything for free. I'll buy all my stuff and everything.
Get on this, will you? Sheesh, man.
I'm trying. Hey, if anybody wants to send me anything for free, I'm good. I'm fine, but I don't ask for anything. So, the Minosaur you're talking about is Rising Force. That was terrible. That was a terrible little legend scale Minosaur. Yes, that's probably one of the worst ones I've ever reviewed and everything. Okay,
I do have a Minosaur, but I don't think it was called Rising Force. It's actually pretty good.
Magic Square? Did you get the Magic Square one?
I think it's a Magic Square one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually do a review on it because I saw there was a lot of other reviews, and I just haven't got around to it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll do it. If they put out the rest of. Well, then again, I've done a review on the Combiner Wars G2 Minosaur, so I don't know if. Do you think? I want your opinion because I've just done a G2 breakdown in the new style. Do you think they're going to put out the rest of the G2 Stunticons so that we can do another Minosaur?
You mean like Legacy, like the
Legacy
stuff?
Ones? Yeah, because they just put out.
Did they put out another one already? They had Drex. Didn't they do Drex Strip already?
Or didn't they call him something different? They called him like Shadow Strikers, or
I can't remember. I thought they already did like 2 or 3, maybe, of the G2 Venusaur or the Stunticons. Someone will probably tell me in the comments, but I thought they did.
I don't recall offhand. I just know because Extra Zero, I already have that Action Optimus Prime. I've reviewed it. Yeah, the reason Breakdown stands out to me is because it was the very first BotCon exclusive, and it was $350 to get it on card. And I was like, and I want to open it. And I'm like, I'm not paying $350 for a basic size, figure. Yeah. I had all the other BotCon exclusives from Night Racer. I managed to get all the way up to the latest ones, but 3G2 have been so far.
Okay, far. I thought they did 3 of them.
Yeah, so they did Breakdown. I think they
Drag Strip.
Did they do Dead End? Huh?
They did, Drag Strip, and then was it Dead End? It might have been Dead End. I don't know. I didn't get any of the of those. I think the G2 Drag Strip was in black, and they did a black and yellow one. With that, I think that was in the race series, whatever.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think they called them Drag Strip. I think they called them like Shadow Striker or something else.
It could have been, but I thought they did a G2. I thought they did a G2 version as well, but I'm sure they will. I mean, G2, it's just a recolor.
I probably have it somewhere.
It's easy money.
I get them all.
I mean, that's to do the G2 stuff. They did they're doing a G2 Grimlock right now. It's just a recolor, so it's
in
easy
blue,
money.
Yeah, they've used that mold a lot.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
And I understand why, but sometimes it got a little too much with the Siege Megatron.
Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah. They've done, Grimlock they've done, and they're doing actually another, with the crossover with Godzilla. They're doing that with him.
The Megatron Godzilla in a Grimlock body.
Yeah, it's weird. But
Grimlock, not Godzilla.
She'll do the rest. Hasbro repaints. Oh yeah, they're definitely repaint everything. So. All right, so I got one more question. This is going to be the last question. Where do you see your channel in 5 years? Where would you like to see your channel in 5 years?
With more subscribers.
Well, yeah.
I suspect as long as I'm around, it will still be around, and as long as Transformers are still coming out or third parties. So yeah, I imagine I will still be around. I mean, it's taken me 5 years or so to get up to 16,000. Another 5 years, hopefully it will be up to 100,000. I'll have a nice one of those plaques. My other channel will hopefully get the plaque much sooner, but because that's at like 81,000 subs. So,
okay. Nice.
I'm not going to tell you a quick story after that, but yeah, I just see my channel. Yeah, this sounds like a job interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is my last question I always ask, usually. I usually try.
Yeah, just still making videos, still, hopefully entertaining people. I try to add some entertainment into my reviews and other pop culture references and stuff. So I imagine as long as Transformers are around and I'm still around, it will be still going and hopefully much bigger. And maybe in 5 years, I won't have to have a day job. I could just be working on my YouTube channels.
That would be awesome.
And occasionally I get paid for moderating at conventions. Maybe I'll get more of that. Maybe I'll start voice acting. You'll have me be doing voices for the next Transformers Cinder Spark or whatever series is in 5 years. Stories from the Toy Shelf. My other channel is called Fandom Spotlight, spelled the same way as Toy Spotlight, but Fandom Spotlight. And we have all kinds of panels, interviews, just a lot of stuff from conventions. And someone had mentioned a potential Dukes of Hazzard crossover with Transformers. Generally, that would be cool. I don't know that they would put the Confederate battle flag on it, but they could have a different design with like Autobot symbols, or unless they make him Decepticon because he's a bootlegger.
Yeah.
But and I actually at RetroCon got to moderate Tom Wopat, John Schneider, and Catherine Bach. It was a lot of fun. That was a great panel. But yeah, so Bert the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's a great guy, fun guy. When I first was starting my Transformers channel, he reached out to me. He said, "Yeah, I see you're starting a Transformers channel. I just wanted to, share some of the things I've learned." And I said, "Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate it. This is not my first channel, though. Just to let you know, I have this other channel, Phantom Spotlight." And he looked at it and he's like, "Oh, you're good." It was lovely for him to reach out. But I think at the time it had 40,000 subscribers, and it had more than he did. So he's like, "No, you're good. You're good. You know who you're doing." But it was.
No,
I am impressed with the most people in the Transformers YouTube sphere are pretty nice to each other. It's like we're not like trying to backstab each other. It's like we're just supporting each other. We know, we're going to do the same reviews, obviously, at some point, but that doesn't mean we need to be, bitch to each other. We might, occasionally be like, "Oh, his review got less than mine," but we're not going to be like mean about it. It's just like,
no, and I don't do that. I don't do that.
And what's his name? Raisin. He was at TF Baltimore. Great guy. I didn't even remember I helped him out by making suggestions on how he could improve his thumbnails, and apparently that helped him out a great deal. So, and he came up and thanked me, and I'm like, okay, sounds like something I would do. But I really love the fact that this Transformers community is so supportive of one another. And you were supposed to talk to me for 30 minutes, and we're at an hour. So I'm good for going more, but I'm just
No, we're fixing to end it, but yeah, it's called around 30 for a reason, because it never lasts for 30 minutes and everything. Razio King, yeah. I'm in a chat with Extra Zero, Patriot Prime, Bert the Stormtrooper, Kato, Fire Talks,
Jason's here. Ooh.
And everything. I'm in a chat with him, them, because we went to TFCon Baltimore the first time it was there. Then we went to the TFCon in Orlando, and then we went to TFCon Baltimore again this past year and everything. So we're we all hang out and everything. We support each other. Larkin's Lair, Fire Talks, just a bunch of good dudes, and we support each other. We don't talk about who's get the most views or anything like that. We don't ever do that. We're here to support each other, and we try to have, we have fun, and everything. We usually have, we get together on lives. We haven't done one in a long time. Rodimus Primal's in there with us too as well, and everything. So yeah, we all just, we support each other and everything. So something like
I've known Rodimus.
That's an awesome name, man.
What is it? I'm sorry.
That's a good name right there.
Which name? Suck my crock?
No, I was just yeah. That's an awesome name, man. I'm sorry. What was you saying about Rodimus Primal? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've actually known him for quite some time because he would go to. He used to be up in Jersey before he moved to the Sunshine State.
Yep.
He would be at RetroCon all the time.
He's around where Bert is too.
Yep. So, but yeah, I've known him for quite some time. So yeah, it's like I said, Jason was, Patriot Prime was kind enough before I'd even put out one video. On Toy Spotlight, he had me on his channel, and that was a boost. I think he had me on twice. I think he had me on as Phantom Spotlight, and then he had me on as Toy Spotlight. But
okay,
yeah,
awesome.
But yeah, I love the community. I was at TFCon Baltimore both times that it was.
Was you? Okay, there. I didn't know you then. I saw. Yeah, we talked to each other at the last one and everything. Like I said, we was on the when we was on the panel and everything with the that stuff and everything. So
yeah, I had seen Jason at the first one I went to, and he had his crew and everything, and they were doing the chip challenge and all that stuff. But
yeah,
I was also going a little bit back and forth because Baltimore Comic-Con was the same weekend, and I had press passes to that, so I went down there for a little bit and came back. But also, my channel was smaller. I did not get a lot of recognition but this last time, people were coming up to me like, "I love your channel, man." It's like, wow, this is, I felt a little bit like a celebrity, but I'm not going to let it go to my head. I was only charging $40 for selfies. No, I'm kidding.
That is true.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. That's the reason why they had this one. The last one was in November because they didn't want to. I think they didn't want to compete with the Baltimore Comic-Con again, like they did the first time and everything. So, it is. But
yeah.
But yeah, Matt, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I put your links to the Toy Spotlight. I'll go back and I'll put the other one too as well, and I'll put your Instagram in there too as well. I think you have a TikTok too. I
do, but to be honest, I haven't really done much with the TikTok.
Okay.
Because one, there was some uncertainty of whether it would continue on, and there's still uncertainty, unless they still have to. The president. I think that's what the deal is. But it's TikTok. So if I can use a little bit more of your time. So TikTok, I started putting stuff on there. I started doing well, especially with my other channel stuff. And then they said, hey, you can make even more by switching over to our creator something program. And you can have videos more than a minute. And any video more than a minute, you can make, a good amount of money. So I'm like, I like making money. So I did that, and I started actually making money. And then they started saying, nope, that's disqualified. Nope, that's disqualified. Until it just got to the point where I'd put up a video, and it would start taking off, and I'd be like, yeah. And then they'd be like, it's disqualified. And I'm like, no. And then I'd appeal, and most of the time they'd be like, yeah, we don't care what you say. Yeah. This is not original content. It's like, how is it not original content? I shot it with my camera, recorded it with my sound recorder, edited it myself, so I just did not like TikTok.
Thanks for stopping by, XM. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, XM. Aren't you a satellite system? There's something else. But anyway, so I don't do a lot on TikTok. I still have it. People can watch the old stuff, but I haven't done a lot on there. Right. And it's just I'm mad at TikTok, and I may at some point cut down some of my reviews and put them up there, but we'll see.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll put everything in the description to everybody, so that hopefully everybody you'll get a couple subscribers. I know tried to help you as much as possible and everything. But I want to thank you so much for stopping by, or for coming on. I want to thank everybody that stopped by, that came in and watched this and everything. I really appreciate that. And so if anybody wants to come on, if you want to, shoot the shit with me, anytime, just hit me up, slide in my DMs, and we'll get you on, and we'll do some more Round 30. Because I used to do these all the time. I don't do them very much anymore. I would like to. I just forget, and everything. But I wanted to reach out to you and see if you wanted to come on, because I thought it'd be pretty cool. And I had a great time. I hope you had a good time as well. And everything.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This has been awesome. I always love shooting the shit with fellow Transformer enthusiasts. And
awesome.
Yeah, I should bring you on my channel. I should drill you with the same questions. What are your favorite Transformers? Come on, man. Tell me. I need to know now. So
I'll be happy to come on anytime, man.
Yeah, we'll have to arrange that. And and everyone out there, have fun and good hunting. I always see that.
Y'all take care as always. Be good to yourself, man. Hell freaking Transformers, all that good stuff, and take care. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see y'all later. So let me end the stream. And I do want to end it. Okay.